You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 605 for Sunday, the 26th of July, 2026.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle. So we are into your school holidays. We are into peak planning mode, I guess.
Absolutely. I love a good bit of planning, as we all know. And some of the news topics we're going to be discussing in today's show fit into some slight modifications to my plans as well.
Ooh.
So they may impact on listeners' plans. So we shall get into that in a moment or two.
Cool.
But I will just digress, Jayne.
Yes, digress away.
Open a message I've just received, which made me chuckle.
Oh, okay.
Just as I literally said, you are listening to, I got a picture of the Tangled toilets, and immediately I thought of you.
Thank you.
I love these toilets, and so do our listeners, because we have now adopted the saying that we're not going to the toilet, we're going for a Flynn Rider, because it all connects to the Tangled toilets at the Magic Kingdom.
It doesn't. It's a polite way of saying that one needs the bathroom.
Yeah. So I think it was really apt that my lovely friend David has just sent me that picture. It made me chuckle.
Oh, this is why you love your Disney friends, isn't it? You get random things that are sent to you at the most inappropriate times, but times that make you smile.
Yeah. We have some history for today, Jayne.
Okay, what we got today, Michelle?
1945, British actress Dame Helen Mirren was born in England.
Good old Dame Helen, yeah.
I know. I absolutely love watching anything with her in. And to be honest, I am actually considering rewatching from the beginning Prime Suspect, because she just rocked in that.
Wow. That'll keep you busy for a little bit.
It will. Well, I've just nearly whisked through 16 series of ER, so I'm sort of like running out of things to watch.
I won't mention the fact that we're just going through a series of Lego Masters at the moment.
Well, whatever keeps us busy and out of mischief. But back to Dame Helen.
Dame Helen.
So her Disney and Touchstone film credits include Raising Helen, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, National Treasure, The Book of Secrets, Monsters University, The 100-Foot Journey, and The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Now, for me, I will say I wasn't sure who she voiced in Monsters University, and I think off air you voiced the same concern.
Yeah, I have to say, it did make me think that A, I didn't know who she'd voiced, and B, that I don't think I've watched Monsters Uni probably more than once. So maybe it's one of those films that I ought to, rather than watching silly Lego Masters, perhaps I ought to start going through the Disney back catalogue a bit more.
I think I need to be honest, because there's quite a few films I can remember watching, but can I remember the characters? And I need to get up there for my Disney Cruise trivia for the cruise line.
Very true. So who does she play?
Dean Abigail Hardscrabble in Monsters University, who was the strict, terrifying head of the university's prestigious scaring programme.
See, I'd like to say at this point that I can picture in my head exactly who that is, and that would be telling an untruth.
That just means that Jayne and I will be involved in a little bit of watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Next bit of news is on this day in 1951, Disney's Alice in Wonderland had its world premiere in London's Leicester Square Theatre. It was then released in the United States 2 days later. And for those of you who know a lot about Lewis Carroll, this film was based on his Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass.
Wow. Nice that it got a London premiere.
Yeah. Nice old Leicester Square.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, so that is all I have, and I think we need to run head first into some news for this week.
Yeah, I think we've got a few little bits and bobs you want to bring up, haven't we?
One or two. The teaser has been released from Disney World Builders, which is a new feature documentary directed by Academy Award and Emmy-nominated filmmaker Leslie Iwerks, and it will be coming to Disney Plus in August.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to that because I've liked what she's done before, so this is going to be really interesting, I think.
Yeah. And you know those things where you've got that so many degrees of separation? You're connected to this, Jayne.
Oh, go on then, Michelle. How am I connected?
And through you, I am.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Well, the film features conversations with some of the most influential creators in entertainment today, and one of them is someone who has personally touched your shoulder, Dave Filoni.
Mr. Filoni, yes. I had the pleasure of meeting him back at Star Wars Celebration around about this. Yeah, it was July of 2016. And he was lovely. And I geeked out, and I'm sure I've told this story before, but we were in this little pub just on the outskirts of London, and he could have been whining and dining, I'm sure with lots of other studio heads and other creators, but he came along to join Mandalorian Merc's meal, and he walked in, and I'm like, sharp intake of breath. And nobody else batted an eyelid, and I'm going to Simon, why isn't everybody else not freaking out? I'm freaking out here. And Simon said, go and talk to him. I can't go and talk to him. But we did. And at the time, my Mandalorian Mercs costume, I had magnetic Mickey ears on my Mandalorian helmet. So, and I got a photo of me in the kit with the ears on. So we went and spoke to Dave, because I can call him Dave, and showed him the photo of me with these Mickey ears. And asked if they would be classified as canon, to which we had a lovely discussion about whether or not they could be some sort of communication or radar sort of device. So if ever in any Star Wars animated show you do see some sort of spherical objects on Mandalorian helmets, I will be contacting Mr. Filoni and asking for a cut of the money, because it's my idea. By proxy, because actually it was Simon's idea, but I wore them, so therefore it's my idea.
And I know you, so hey ho.
And I do have the tattoo on my left arm where he touched me. Oh, I'm such a sad little geeky person.
No, we are Disney fans, and these things mean a lot to us.
They do indeed, yeah. And he was lovely, and I have to say, I am one of those Star Wars fans that I won't hear a bad word said about Dave Filoni, because I think he knows what he's talking about. And he was very accommodating and very lovely when we met him. I'll shut up now.
And if he's been subjected to food at the Harvester, then we know he is all about the Star Wars chat.
Definitely. He came there for the people, not for the food.
Yeah, apparently. No. Anyway, Disney YNSD is a new apparel and accessories brand that is being launched by a collective of Walt Disney Imagineers, and it's going to make its public debut exclusively this August 14th through 16th at D23, which is being held in Anaheim. Have you had the opportunity to look at this range, Jayne?
I had a very quick sneaky look yesterday, and do you know what it gave me vibes of, Michelle?
Go on.
Do you remember many years ago, Disney used to do a fashion clothing line called Disney Couture?
Yeah.
And I had some beautiful pieces from them that unfortunately were too big for me now and everything. But they were kind of the style that embodied aspects of Disney. But if you knew, you knew. But it wasn't that full on like you and I are both wearing. As we're chatting today, I've got a full on cartoon print of Minnie Mouse. You've got Mickey Mouse across your chest area. We it's very obvious that we're wearing Disney, whereas the Disney Couture was always kind of a more subtle approach, and that's what this kind of collection reminds me of. It's a bit more, particularly the Haunted Mansion parlour.
Yes,
side of
and
things.
that gives me vibes of William Morris, who anyone who knows me knows how much I love the work of William Morris, having got the Strawberry Fields decor in my living room at home. So I'm loving this, and I'm loving the fact that it's got those beautiful teals in it. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm not excited for the price range because I imagine it is going to be at the higher end.
Yeah.
But we will wait and see for its debut. Listeners, have you had a peek? Are you excited about it? Do you like your Disney couture to be a little bit left field, or are you full on, in your face, Mickey Mouse all over? Let us know. So the next comment is a little bit saucy, this next news item.
Ooh.
And it's all about the Kraft Heinz and Walt Disney Company alliance, because they have announced a multi-year strategic alliance to bring together, and this is in the news release's words, not mine, the world's most iconic companies.
Well, I suppose they are both very iconic.
The only thing that worries me about this, and I think it's going to be, great to have the proper Tommy K in the parks, because, I am a bit of a snob when it comes to my shopping. I don't mind a bit of Lidl or a little bit of Aldi, but I will never buy Bramwell's tomato sauce. It's got to be Heinz. And I very rarely have tomato sauce, but when I do, it's got to be Heinz. So for me, I'm very excited about Heinz products being in the park, so that if I want a little splurge in my burger, if I ever have one, or on my fries, which I never really eat, I can have Heinz tomato sauce. And I know a lot of other people will be very excited if it brings about getting rid of the stupid sachets, which I can never open, and I then, out of frustration, go to opening them with my mouth and then squirting tomato sauce all over my top. This is a big move forward. I like those ones where you just go squirt into a little collective paper cup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? I'm assuming that maybe this is what they mean. So rather than having a generic, you don't know what it is brand, you can definitely get the correct brand in those dispensers. I'm not a big Tommy K fan, I have to admit. Mm-hmm. But honey and mustard dressing, honey and mustard sauce, that's my go-to. So,
And mayonnaise, Jane. It's the only mayonnaise for me.
This is very true.
Or I will dabble a little with Hellmann's.
Yeah, but it's nice to see that you've got, like you say, the real McCoy going in.
Yeah. The thing that worries me the most with it is the introduction of Kraft mac and cheese, because I'll be honest, I don't like Kraft mac and cheese. If I'm going to have mac and cheese, I want it made from proper cheese, proper milk, fresh, rather than it being a packet mix.
Yeah.
But that's my only of concern. I know for a lot of people, particularly who have got children that are picky eaters, the ability to get a brand of mac and cheese in the theme packs that their child can eat, massive bonus.
Well, perhaps it's that case of if it's quick serve, you kind of know what you're going to get, but perhaps in the other restaurants where it's been made, more on site, then it's a bit more bespoke. But I have to say, it doesn't bother me. I don't like mac and cheese. So
true.
Yeah.
I only dabble when I'm eating at Polite Pig normally, because their mac and cheese is amazing. It's all about the cheese.
Yeah.
It does actually say this is just in the USA theme parks and the Disney Cruise Line.
Okay, which kind of makes sense, to be fair.
Yeah. The debut of the new Heinz condiment stations and custom designed equipment throughout the parks will be coming. And in addition, Heinz will delight fans at D23 with new sauces from their sauce vault.
Mrs. Indeed. So what are we going to be getting, I wonder? The world will be uproar.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about Kraft Heinz, it is one of the world's largest food and beverage companies. Approximately 25 billion in net sales in 2025.
Wow.
And it's a huge company, and I think these nice little deals Disney do, like they've done with Coca-Cola, ultimately benefit the guest.
Yeah.
However, in my opinion, sometimes it's at the detriment to the guests, and I'm just going to shout this out here loud and proud now, and some people might shout me down over this.
Okay.
But I do not like going to the Main Street confectioners and everything has got a Mars product on it now. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So, are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you just, I really don't care. It's Tommy K. Shell.
May well be, yeah.
So, another announcement this week was the publication of the Six Ravens menu. So, we have cuffins galore. And there's some interesting flavours, Jane.
Yeah, I must admit, I had a little look through myself, and I suppose it's in that traditional Gideon's sort of vibe, isn't it, where they're mixing things up a little bit. So, whilst a pastry wrapped thing, I think it's what they would call a hand pie in the US. Apologies if I've got that wrong. I know it's kind of, I suppose for the Brits over here, we're kind of thinking more along a sort of a Cornish pasty-esque type thing that they're serving up. So yeah, some interesting combos from what I remember.
Yeah, I think I will go and make a try when I'm there this August. I believe it will be open in time for my trip. I was really intrigued by the Imperial Idol, which is a mildly spiced chicken with potato, carrot, coconut curry in a fried garlic covered coffin, and it's paired with Red Panda's dipping sauce.
Yes, I noticed that they've all got their own individual dipping sauces that they come with as well, haven't they? But like you said, there's some unique combinations of flavours that are going on, so it's not just going to be. And I was going to say your usual standard of stuff, and it's that thing, isn't it? Again, it proves that there are options within Disney World. I appreciate this at Disney Springs, but within the whole resort area to go and get things that are a step above or different to just your usual burger and fries, chicken nuggets, whatever type food.
And if you are a cheeseburger spring roll person, which everyone knows I am not, they do have a peasant's patty, which is their take on a cheeseburger roll. So that would be interesting to find out someone, maybe someone like Kat and Lewis from This Down Under to do a little bit of a challenge to see what they think about it. Because I know Kat's even made her own cheeseburger spring rolls at home. So it's all exciting. New foods to Disney are always going to be exciting. The only worry is, how long is the queue going to be to get in it?
I think probably, particularly when they do open, it's going to be a challenging affair, I would imagine.
We shall see, as no doubt by the time this podcast is released, it may have even opened.
May well be, yeah.
I can't resist a little bit of food chat, Jane, as you know, and I am continuing the food chat as we talk about a place I recommended you and Simon go and eat at. The Ale and Compass has had a little bit of a upgrade and a bit of a change around on its menu.
Yeah, there's a few new items or changes to existing items, is that right?
And I'm quite excited because it's a place I've been to before. And I've really, really enjoyed the breakfast because you can pay a little bit of money and you get a soda or a caffeinated beverage, a visit to the breakfast buffet and a main entree. They have quite a range. They have a classic steak and egg. They have a flatbread. They have a dark chocolate waffle, which has got my name all over it. But they have protein hash bowls, they have hot honey chicken and waffles, they have American breakfast, and a vanilla French toast.
Yeah, I must admit, I went and had a look at the menu earlier on because it is something that is on our list of places that we would like to visit again. Now, I'm going to put the cat among the pigeons here, Michelle, because I looked at the Walt Disney World, admittedly I'm looking at the .co.uk site.
Yeah.
And on the menu, there is no reference to the buffet aspect for the breakfast. Is there anybody out there at the moment that can find out for us, I wonder? Because I'm a little bit concerned because I also noticed that the steak and egg price has gone up a little bit to what it was when we were out there at the end of last year. So I want to keep my fingers crossed that they haven't done away with it. Please say they haven't done away with it.
Yeah, it is quite interesting, is that, Jane? That's a really good point because the steak and eggs is $26 and previously the breakfast option was $28.
Yeah.
So if it is actually $28, that makes that steak and eggs an absolute awesome choice.
Yeah, well, I think the steak and eggs used to be around about the $21, $22 mark, which is why I'm wondering whether or not they've changed things. So I don't know. So we will have to maybe...
Another thing I'm wanting to bring to the table is what on earth has happened at Connections Eatery?
Yes. I must admit, I had the same thought as well, Michelle. Would you like to explain what's happened at Connections?
Well, when they originally opened, one of the things I particularly enjoyed was getting my food in an elevated manner.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd get it and it'd come on a little plate, a proper plate.
A proper plate.
And you'd have proper knife and forks
Lovely.
as well.
Yeah.
And it was presented well, it tasted well. The eatery area is brilliant. There's spaces for phone charging, and pictures are now coming out that the plates have gone and they're now using the standard cardboard-esque. When I say esque, it doesn't have that much board in it. It's virtually paper. Those little boats that they put the food in at every other eatery.
Yeah, but also I even thought they even looked plainer though. They looked very just nondescript. I thought, well, at least other places, don't they normally have a bit more zhuzh on them? I don't know, but yeah. It's very strange because you've got places like Satuli and you've got Docking Bay 7, Regal Eagle, where you do actually get quote unquote a more traditional sort of eating experience because you're getting the real McCoy. And I can appreciate with some of the older school, particularly the fast service places, the quick serve places, because the way the kitchens were created decades ago, it means it's more difficult to bring in things like reusable plates and cutlery, and they have to rely on the disposable. So you kind of assume that Connections was with it being a new kitchen, following the rebuild, that they would be able to continue using those reusables rather than disposables. It's sad, really.
It is interesting that they haven't disposed of the existing place where you used to take your plates for them to then collect them in and put them away. So it could just be their dishwashers have broken.
True.
And it's a temporary thing. Please, please, please make that be the case. Or it could be a cost-cutting exercise, because when you look at the costs of those paper plate type things that they're putting the food on and how much Disney will have to pay for them is such minuscule amounts of money. They are then recycled, and I believe these go into composting because Disney have got a state-of-the-art facility backstage to do all of this recycling. How do I know? I toured it on one of my Disney tours that I did eons ago. Little things like any reusable glass gets shredded down and gets put into sandy walkways, for example.
Yeah.
When you compare that cost to the cost of having someone to, one, sort the plates, knives and forks, etc., then wash them up and then return them to the section, the actual labour-intensive cost of that must be a lot more than a paper dish, boat, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
so
I suppose it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, I suppose you've got to go down the whole route of the cost of production of both sorts, the environmental impact, like you've said, the environmental impact of dishwashers running, sustainability, etc., etc. So I can't imagine it's an easy one to balance, shall we say, financially going forward. I mean, it could be that they're having a change of style of plate. Like you say, it could be that dishwashers are broken. I think it is nice when you can go into these places and they have that little bit of elevated, so you don't quite feel like, oh, look, I'm eating out of paper yet again. It is appreciated by those of us that attend, but yeah, it's going to come down. It could very well come down to money at the end of the day, couldn't it?
I think with most things Disney related, it does come down to the dollars and cents. But we shall see what happens over the next couple of days. So if you are in the world and you're in Epcot, why don't you just do a little drive-by for us and let us know what you see there?
Yeah.
So, Jayne, I think that's where we are going to call this week's podcast finished. I'm going to wrap it up, put a big fat bow on it, and publish it for all of our lovely listeners. As usual, you can listen to our back shows, and you can also support us financially via patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. You can catch up on what we're up to over on Instagram at Disney Dream Girls, and you can email the show info@DisneyDreamGirls.com. But until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's bye from me.